Imagine that you didn't have a table to eat at for dinner or a bed to sleep in at night. Fresh Start Furnishings is here to help those facing hardships get back on their feet. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to learn all about their mission and what they are doing to help our citizens here in Harford County. I'm Christy Breslin, and this is Harford MagaScene. Well, it is my pleasure to be joined with my friend Alicia Hamilton. She is the founder and executive director of Fresh Start Furnishings. Alicia, thanks so much for being with us. It's great to see you again.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
So, Alicia, tell me about Fresh Start Furnishings. I know we had a little bit of a name change and rebranding.
Yes, absolutely. So we were originally called Found in Faith Ministries, and that's what a lot of the community knows us as. But we were getting confused with the church a lot. And even though we're a faith-based organization and that continues to remain, and our legal name is still Found in Faith Ministries, we decided to rebrand to Fresh Start Furnishings so people in the community can better identify what we do from our name. And more importantly, so that people that are in need of our services are better able to find us.
Now, where did you come up with Fresh Start Furnishings? I like the name.
Yeah, so we've always had the Fresh Start Furniture program. That is our primary program and service to the community. And we actually consulted a branding professional on it. And she said, everything is revolved around Fresh Start Furniture program, so why not Fresh Start Furnishings? And we were like, yeah, that works.
I like it. It's got a great ring to it.
Yeah.
So when did it first begin, and how did this concept even come about?
Yeah. So we were founded in 2016. The mission was put on my heart after I was working with a foster youth, transitioning foster youth. She was 18. Her name was Stormy. And she had gotten a place of her own through an independent living program. And she was just so excited. She was like, Miss Alicia, I got my new place. Check out these pics, and I'm looking at them, and her place was great, but it was completely empty, except for she had a single mattress, twin mattress on the floor, and she had some clothes in her closet, and that was about it. And so I asked her, how are you going to get the things that you need? And she said, well, the program gave me a $300 gift card to Walmart. And I'm like, because I know that wasn't going to cover very much. So.
Right.
I reached out. I was doing CrossFit at the time, and I reached out to that community that I had and shared her story. And a week and a half later, I had a truck full of items going out to furnish her place. So we were able to get her sofas and coffee and end tables, get her bed up off the ground, a dresser, everything that she needed to get her fresh start. So that's how it kind of got put on my heart. And then I started connecting with people in the community and just seeing who else was meeting this need and what was going on in Harford County. And that's how I was able to connect with Bel Air United and then Faustin Presbyterian Church. And both of the churches had a furniture ministry, essentially, that was just serving people that presented a need, but there wasn't any necessarily organized effort to meet the need in the county. So we decided that there was plenty enough need, and we were getting enough calls that maybe forming a nonprofit would be the best way to go. So that's what we did. In December 2017, we got our official tax-exempt status, and then in 2018, we moved to our first location in Joppa. And so I feel like we've been playing a little bit of catch-up ever since, because the more people know about us, the more applications we get in, the more offers for donations. So we've just been rolling since then.
Now, you also have a new location. You've moved. So where are you located now?
We are in Aberdeen now. Our official address is 1050 Hardee's Drive, Suite B in Aberdeen, Maryland. And we're right down, kind of as you're entering or leaving Bell Camp and heading into Aberdeen, we're right behind Cook Mazda at the bottom of Route 7.
Now, you talked about making donations. Is there a process for that? How do we do that? How do we get started?
Yeah. So donors, we accept donations from community members, of course, businesses and that sort of thing as well, but primarily community members. And they can go to our website at freshstartmd.org. There's a donation form right on the website. They fill out the donation form. Our donations coordinator gets in touch with them to schedule an appointment, and then they can come and drop off their items.
Now, what kind of items do you accept?
Yeah. Oh boy. So lots. We have a whole list, but really the focus is on the essentials. Our clients are, they're just getting started, so they don't necessarily need a china hutch to display their china, but they absolutely do need dining table and chairs and sofas, dressers. Beds are something that people don't think that we can take, but we're not reselling them. So mattresses, they can be used, but of course, good condition. We don't want to pass along anything, that's not, but they're one of our most highly requested items. And then of course, housewares, everything from small appliances to bed and bath linens, pots, pans, dishes, all of that sort of thing. So I like to think of it like if you were sending your child off to college, what would they need in their first apartment or place or whatever? That's what our clients need too.
And Alicia, when you do accept the items, is there any certain condition that they're required to be in?
So the IRS says good or better condition, and that is incredibly subjective. The way that we like to word it is, if you would pass it along to a family member, then it's probably good enough quality that we would accept and pass along to somebody. But we do want to make sure that the things that we're giving to people are still giving them a sense of dignity and respect. And, just because they don't have anything doesn't mean they necessarily want something that's, got rips, stains, tears,
Exactly.
and a lot of damage or anything, because that's not going to make you feel good inside.
No.
And that's a big part of what we do. And the reason that we have a showroom and not a warehouse in the first place is to give them a sense of dignity so that they can come in and shop, even though they're not necessarily paying for anything.
That makes sense. Now, the items, do they have to drop them off? Do you pick them up? How does that go?
Yeah. So if donors can drop off, that is ideal because donating to us and being able to drop off the items is really a form of volunteering for us. It's just not one that we necessarily advertise in that regard, but we are mostly volunteer supported. So if they do need pickup, that's fine. We do offer free volunteer pickup. The wait list on that is usually 6 to 8 weeks, though. A lot of people, they are fine. They're not in a rush to get rid of things, so they're happy to just get rid of them when we can get to them. But if you can drop off, we can usually get you an appointment within the week.
Thank you so much, Alicia. What a great organization that you have built, and it looks like you're just moving full steam ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are always getting more applications, more offers from people that want to donate. So, yeah, going strong.
Well, one of the most important things about Fresh Start Furnishings is their partnerships, the partnerships they have with the community and the business community. We'll learn more about that coming up. I am now joined with Sierra Offit. She is the development director here at Fresh Start Furnishings, and she's going to tell us how she got involved, why she stays involved, and how you can get involved as well. Hi, Sierra.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. Now, Sierra, tell me, how did the idea of you working with Fresh Start Furnishings, how did this all come about? How did you first get involved with them?
So my dad was on the board of directors for a while. And so he did some things through the church that I grew up in. We did some donation drives and collected some money for Fresh Start. So I got to hear a lot about the organization and the good that we do in the community. And so when the call came out for a development director, I decided to apply and put some of my skills to use here.
Now, what exactly does a development director do?
So my role, a development director can do different things for different organizations. It means something a little different depending on what kind of nonprofit or what kind of organization someone works for. But in my case, my ultimate goal and purpose is to just spread the word about Fresh Start in our community and build partnerships and develop those connections with people and make sure just that people know that we're here.
Oh, it's very obvious you have such a passion for this. So what part of the job do you enjoy the most?
Wow. For me, I've spent a lot of time at networking events and getting to know people in the community. And so it's been really great for me to meet people in business, all kinds of businesses in Harford County, and see the ways that even business people who maybe don't work in the nonprofit sector have a passion for putting things back into their community and serving their neighbors, their local community.
So if I was to meet you and say, hey, Sierra, tell me about Fresh Start Furnishings, what do you do? How would you explain it?
So the first thing I always say is at Fresh Start, we transform empty houses into homes. We are a furniture and home goods nonprofit. And so what that means is that we're filling in a gap that a lot of people don't think about. People think about housing. A lot of our best partners in the community, a lot of our community partners are people that focus on the housing need in the community. But once people are in houses, people don't think about what comes next. And that's the gap that we're filling, so that people aren't sleeping on the floor, eating off of the floor. It's really great that people are able to come home to something and, have a table to sit at and eat at, somewhere they can sit and have a conversation.
We know it takes a village. And you have built a village here in Harford County with the partnerships. So let's talk about some of these strong partnerships that you've formed.
So we work with a lot of the housing-based organizations in the county and sort of some of the government programs that support people to find housing. So that would be places like Harford Family House, Harford County Government itself, SARC, and the Harford Community Action Agency. And then we also have built partnerships and connections with people that would encounter furniture in their day-to-day business. So people like realtors and furniture stores that maybe when they're delivering new furniture, people have items that they're getting rid of, junk removal businesses. So places that are encountering people that might have donations to provide to us.
Well, I know that you're still looking for new partnerships.
Absolutely.
So if that's the case, how do people get in touch with you?
Well, the easiest way to connect with us is through our website, freshstartmd.org. But we also have phone numbers people can reach out to, our email addresses. I'm always accessible. It's just Sierra@freshstartmd.org if people want to reach out to me. If people are looking for that community partnership, we also are setting up things like corporate volunteer days so that people could bring their coworkers, their colleagues, their employees in and work here with us so that they get the chance to volunteer and interact maybe with some of our clients or work in the showroom if they aren't looking to do client-facing work. And we also are always in need of financial sponsors, people that help keep the roof over our heads, keep the lights on, and support us so that we can continue to serve more people in Harford County as the need, unfortunately, is growing for our services these days.
Now, I do understand we have a big upcoming event. Give us the details.
We do. So we are hosting our first ever signature event next spring. We are scheduled for April 26th at Mountain Branch Country or Golf Club, and they've agreed to host us there. And we'll be hosting, it's Tapas and Treasures is the name of our event. And it's just a fun night for us to celebrate and bring in people, bring in sponsors who have put a lot of time and effort into sponsoring and funding our organization. And we want to thank them and give them a fun night. And it also will be the culmination of our furniture flip competition. So we're asking for people in the community to form teams and flip maybe a piece of furniture or create a tabletop decoration, wall decor that will then be both judged by a professional in the industry and also by sort of a public voting tool so that they can get their friends, their families engaged in that.
Sierra, thank you again so much for all that you do, and we're lucky to have someone like you as the development director.
Thank you so much.
Now, Sierra talked about corporate partnerships. We're going to hear about how they work firsthand coming up next. I'm now joined with Joe Conroy. He is a transport volunteer and a corporate sponsor. Joe, thanks so much for being with me today.
Pleasure to be here.
Joe, how did Harford Retirement Planners first become a partner with Fresh Start Furnishings?
Sure. So in 2019, I did Harford Leadership Academy through the community college, and that was where They have this, it's almost like speed dating for different nonprofits. And best I can describe it, at least. And so that's how I got introduced to Alicia. She was representing Fresh Start Furnishings, and it sounded really interesting to me. So we connected and kind of got involved with the program after that.
Well, from what I understand, you are a transport volunteer. What does that mean?
So transport volunteer means that Mike and I from the office, we volunteer every other month. That's just our schedule. But we'll meet, usually a truck driver. We go out to pickups. So it could be an example of somebody downsizing or maybe moving to a retirement home and they've got all this really good furniture. What we'll do is we'll go pick up the donated items and we'll either transport it to the warehouse or we bring it to those families that are in need.
That is a really nice thing to do. And of course, we couldn't get Matt to go on camera, so we'll just put his picture up here so everybody can see who he is and how he spends his time. Now, let me ask you here, as a local business owner, why do you think volunteerism is so important?
Yeah, I think it's super important to support the community that supports your business. And Harford County and Bel Air is so supportive of local business. And I don't want to say that it's an obligation, right? We do it because we want to. And it just makes us feel good to give back. We're in a position where we can donate time and financial resources. So we're happy to do so. And I think all businesses, if they're not already doing it, should consider.
Joe, there's hundreds of nonprofits out there in Harford County. Why did you choose this one?
So in my business as a financial advisor, we typically serve those in our community that are of a certain financial means. And we want our organization and our business to serve everybody in the community in some way. Mm-hmm. So that's why we've concentrated our volunteer and our philanthropic efforts towards those who are, underserved and under-resourced in the community. So we want to make sure that we not just work with those who have assets to manage, but also folks in the community who, could be clients later on and just to give back.
Well, you've been giving back for a while, so tell me maybe some of your favorite memories or maybe a story you'd like to share with our viewers.
So one story stands out in particular. I've got 3 kids. The 2 oldest are boys, and we had a drop-off where we were taking furniture to the family that was going to be using it. And when we walked into the house, like we see so often during these drop-offs, it really sparse furniture. And we walked upstairs just to kind of get a lay of where we were going to put things. And there was a little boy who was the same age as my son. And we looked in his room and his clothes were on the floor. And there was a blanket that was on the floor. So he didn't have any furniture in his bedroom. And by the time that we left that house, they had a sofa, they had all this stuff. And he was going to be sleeping on a bed that night. And all of his clothes were going to be in a dresser, not just in a pile on the floor. And he even did this little happy dance like little 6-year-olds do. And he flopped on the ground. They were so excited. The father was so appreciative. He was telling us a little bit of his story. He works 2 jobs and just had a tough time getting ahead, young family. I think a lot of us can appreciate that. So that was a great moment and a great story I like to share with people about how much impact this organization can have in the community.
Now, Joe, it takes a lot of manpower to get out there and get these furnishings where they need to go, transporting them here and there. How do you do that? Do you put a crew together?
So surprisingly, all it takes is what we call a 2-1-2 crew. So it's 2 people, 1 truck, and 2 hours. So it's not as involved as a lot of people would think. If anyone's interested in volunteering, it's definitely a part of this program that could use a little bit more help. And with 2 people, the 1 truck, and 2 hours, you can really make a huge impact on the community and help the logistics of this organization get the furniture to and from where it needs to go to impact those that we serve.
Joe, thank you again. We are so lucky to have such strong partnerships like you to help Fresh Start Furnishings move forward.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Now, coming up next, we're going to speak to some of the other people that are involved with Fresh Start Furnishings and why they continue to serve. Paul Majewski is one of the biggest supporters here at Fresh Start Furnishings. He is the owner of Bumble Junk, and he's here to tell us why he partnerships with them and how fulfilling it is to give back to the community. Hi, Paul.
Hey, how's it going today?
Great. Thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
Now, Paul, tell me about Bumble Junk. What is it?
So Bumble Junk is a full-service residential and commercial junk removal company. We send our crews into homes and businesses to remove unwanted junk, whether it's furniture, appliances, anything somebody wants to get rid of. Sometimes people just like everything in the attic's got to go, and we're climbing up in attics and removing stuff. So we find a lot of cool and unique stuff. One person's junk is another person's treasure. So we try to keep as much stuff out of the landfill as possible. We try to be as eco-friendly as possible. So we've partnered with Found in Faith Ministries and bring a lot of gently used or sometimes even unused furniture, mattresses, couches, tables, chairs, and we give them to Found in Faith to find a good home.
That is very generous of you to do. And why do you feel that it's so important to do this?
One, it gives back to people that are in need. Two, it's green. It's helping keep stuff out of landfills. And we even work with some of Found in Faith's, I would say, clientele. People that come to Found in Faith that want to donate stuff. People will have us come out to their location if it needs it. Say they're selling their house and they need the stuff removed ASAP. They'll have us come out to their home, remove the items that they want to give to Found in Faith, and we bring them directly here.
Now, how did this partnership with Alicia first come about? How did you first meet, and how did you decide we should work together?
I believe Alicia and I met on a Christmas toy drive with Breathe 379, and we gave hundreds of toys out to kids in the Aberdeen and Edgewood communities, and that was, I think, before she even started Found in Faith and Fresh Start Furniture or Furnishings. So we met, kind of collaborated, and we've even grown to the point where every fourth Saturday of the month we have a warehouse sale, items that we haven't found somebody to donate to. We have a sale at our warehouse, a lot of cool stuff from snow blowers to freezers to gently used dishwashers and even some clothing, and all the proceeds go back to Found in Faith and Fresh Start Furnishings.
That is fantastic. Now, what is your favorite part about working with them? I mean, what has the experience been like?
Probably the people that you meet. Even just the volunteers are fantastic. We see the volunteers every fourth Saturday at our warehouse, and or when we meet them here. But the people that are, it's just people. The people in the local people in the community are fantastic. Whether it's people giving back or people that are in need of the furniture. Some of the people you meet that come in and to hear their stories and to see the smiles on their face when we're giving them stuff they need for their homes. It just makes you feel good.
Paul, thank you again for being such a great community partner. We are just very fortunate to have you.
I appreciate having the opportunity to give back.
Well, we're here in the showroom, and coming up next, we're going to meet the showroom volunteer, Don Barkley. Don Barkley is a showroom volunteer. He is very passionate about his work here at Fresh Start Furnishings. He's going to tell us why he got involved and some of the things that he's responsible for. Don, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Don, your title, showroom volunteer. What exactly does that mean? Do you show us around?
You can deal with a myriad of different things. We have, for those introverts, we have a opportunity to be the behind-the-scenes person to put together packages for housewares. And then we have the more extrovert type individual that would be able to be forward-facing with the client and assist them in picking out housewares and home goods. So we offer both varieties of people that can come in and volunteer and share in the opportunity to serve.
So if you want to come see the showroom, do you have to make an appointment? How does that work?
The easiest way is to make an appointment. We have availability for drop-off. We kind of work around people to be able to come and drop off during non-regular operating hours as needed. But we do always ask that people set up at a time that's best appropriate for us and them, that's convenient for both parties, to be able to come and share in that giving opportunity. But if they do want to come, we do also open houses that people could come and share in that opportunity to see exactly what we do.
Well, I know you have a lot of roles here. You're
I
not
do.
just a showroom volunteer. So what are some of your other volunteer duties?
Outreach is a big part of what we do, and finding the people that best fit what we're trying to do. So finding those people is not always easy. So going out there in the community, it's hard to ask for help these days.
Yeah.
With COVID and drug dependency and just being worn down by the world, it's very hard to ask someone for help. And what we do is such a great thing that we're one-stop shop. You come in, and whether it's one piece, one room, or the whole house, we're providing that for you free of charge, which is a unique thing in the nonprofit setting. So I think that's very great thing that we do. I like to toot our own horn because we do fill a void that's in the community that not many people see or understand.
Now, I know that you said we have a growing need for furnishings in this area for people in need. What are the biggest things that you could use right now at Fresh Start Furnishings?
Our biggest needs are dressers and bedroom sets, dining room tables, housewares in general. Most people don't think of housewares as being bedroom sets, rugs, sheets, towels. It could be a myriad of things. Anything that it would take to transform a house into a home is really the necessities of what our backbone really stands on, being able to provide that for our clients.
Now, what is something that you hope people take away from Fresh Start Furnishings? What's something that you hope they learn about you?
That we're all 2 steps away from being a client. We've had to help people that had house fires. We've had to help people that were cancer victims. We've had to help people that were displaced because of their gender choice from their homes. So we're here to provide a loving and caring, supporting situation for them. We're not here to judge. So something to take away is that there are people in the community that do care and are concerned about the situation that you do have going on. Because we do live in a world that does feel very gray. And we like to think of ourselves as part of that sunshine that we can bless people with.
Volunteerism, it's so important. Why should our viewers volunteer with you?
That volunteering is an opportunity to change yourself as well. A lot of people like to think that volunteering is just in time. I always try to preach that volunteering outside of the box. There might be something that you can drop off where you can be a donor. There's also something where you could be a volunteer where you can go on our Facebook or social media platforms and just share our posts. So there's always that opportunity that creates itself for everyone to kind of move our mission forward, to let people know that there are people that do care about what they're going through.
Now, let me ask you, Don, you could do a lot of things. Why do you do what you do?
I moved to Harford County in 2011, and from moving up here from Baltimore County, I saw that void in our community as well, to be able to outreach and help people where they are. And through Scripture, we're kind of commanded to be a part of that community. And in Matthew 25:40, truly I tell you, whatever you do to the least of my brothers and sisters of mine, you do also to me. And I think that's very important to understand as a Christian and also as a humanitarian, that it's our job and our role in the community to provide for our community and not just worry about ourselves.
Don, thank you so much for everything that you do. And anybody that is maybe interested in taking a tour of the showroom or volunteering, how do we get in touch?
We try to make it as convenient for people as possible. We have a website where you can go on there and become a volunteer by filling out our online application, or by simply give us a call and just saying that you would like to come in and see what we do. We would gladly make accommodations for you to come in, even if it's not during regular business hours, to see the blessings that we offer our community at large.
As you've seen today, Fresh Start Furnishings wants everyone to have a fresh start just like they did. They are here to help people in need get back on their feet. So if you could benefit from their services, maybe you'd like to volunteer, maybe you'd like to donate, you can always visit them at freshstartmd.org. I'm Christy Breslin. See you next month on Harford MagaScene.